What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another review of American Horror Stories. This is a anthology and a spin-off of the original American Horror Story seasons that comes on FX. And we usually been had it by now, but we didn't get a season last season because of the pandemic. But they are coming back, I believe, this August for the continuation of, the actual original show. So I guess in the meantime, in between time, they gave us American Horror Stories, and it's like an anthology. It's gonna have different stories each episode, and it's streaming only on Hulu. Okay, and so I had put a post up, asked y'all, did y'all watch it? Didn't say I was going to review it, but a lot of the comments were saying that they wanted me to review it, so that is why I'm here. It was 2 episodes when they first put it up, July 15th, and they both are called Rubber Woman, okay? And, I will say, in the first episode, it kind of dragged a little bit. It kind of got good, it picked up really like towards the middle end, And so forgive me if I missed some stuff. It might not be a thorough review because I watched the first episode yesterday and I watched the second episode earlier today at work. And yeah, the second episode really hooked me in for real. But it was good. It was good. It gave me a little bit of the horror story feel because this time it went back to Murder House. And I feel like Murder House is one of the, it's the starting of the whole show, okay? And it's one of the better seasons. It's one that for some reason just about every season of American Horror Story kind of goes back to to the first season, and everybody, just about almost everybody that's from that first season has been in throughout all the other seasons of American Horror Story, so that's like a staple. But we get introduced to a couple of new characters, a few new characters. Matt Boomer, is it Boomer or Bomber? Matt Bomber, he's still on here. He's playing two dads, one of two dads, okay? We got a character named Scarlett. She's supposed to be a teenager. And basically, what's going on in this whole situation is she is just annoyed, okay? You could just tell she's one of those teens that she's in her mode of, ugh, don't bother me. Everybody's annoying. Oh my God, quit embarrassing me, dads, And her parents are named Michael and Troy, okay? And so they're moving into a new house. Just so happens to be Murder House, okay? And what they want to do with this house is to basically turn it into a B&B, a B&B. I said B&B, a B&B, bed and breakfast for true crime fans. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a famous house in LA that everybody know about, all the killings and so-called haunted house and all this stuff that could bring attention and attraction and bring in money. So they have to fix this house up. So while they trying to fix it up, they moved into the house, okay? So at this point, what's her name? Scarlett. Scarlett is the daughter's name. She is a little complicated and a little weird. She's a little weirdo, all right? That's basically what it is, okay? But she's literally trying to find her own identity. And she's off. She's off a little bit. At first, you can't tell, but then, like, when she gets into the house and she goes into her room, she opens up the closet door and she sees the Rubber Man suit, okay? The name of the episodes are called Rubber Woman, you know what I'm saying? And if y'all don't remember Rubber Man will always pop up in like either every other season of American Horror Story. I will never forget that season when Rubber Man came down and fucked that dude in the ass with that spiral spike metal dick, okay? I said, oh my God. Told his ass up, bitch. But anyway, so she put the outfit on, and then she was looking up in the mirror, okay, and she looking at herself or whatever, and I was like, all right, mama got a nice little figure. You look young or whatever, but you got a nice little figure or whatever. And so at this point, she looking at herself and she tilts her head this way, and then all of a sudden the reflection turns into a man and they tilt the head. again, and she didn't do it, and it scared her, so she hurried up and took the suit off, and she went and threw it in the garbage can. I was like, that's what you get. First of all, it's been up in the closet. You don't know who been up in it, and you just gonna put your body up in it. Did you at least wash it down? It could have had a whole bunch of asbestos and germs and leftover cum and all that stuff up in there, bodily fluids all up in there, girl, and you just gonna put it on your skin? No, go wash up, go take a bath, okay? White people be doing some crazy shit. I'm just saying. So the dads, like I said, the dads' whole thing is they're just trying to connect with their daughter and get this house in order so that they can make money off of it, and that's all that it is. But basically what's going on is with Scarlett. Scarlett goes to school. Scarlett only has one friend in particular, okay? She's a loner type of person. And, you know, she also is a lesbian, okay? And, you know, honestly, I don't know how. Okay, well, whatever. Because, you know, they try to make, I don't know. I don't want people to think just because people grow up with, you know, gay parents or whatever, that means that they're going to be gay too. It happens sometimes, but most of the times it don't. You know, it can go either way. It doesn't matter about how your parents are. But that's what happens. She gets to the school, and, you know, she's already in school, and of course, in your typical high school, what they always want to portray is that it's a clique of mean girls. You know, the popular girls is that rules the school, and you know, she was in biology. Was it biology or something like that? Girl, she was in one of those classes, and you know, you had Miss Paris Jackson. I was like, all right, NJ. I said, you know what? She grew into a beautiful young lady. I will say that. Miss Paris Jackson just you know, winking at her or staring at her and all this stuff. She's staring at her back, and you know, confronted her at her locker, like, you know, usually I don't like it when people stare at me, especially when guys. And she was like, oh girl, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. She was like, girl, you know what, I ain't say I ain't like it or whatever. Listen, me and my friends, we about to have a sleepover, and I need you to come over there and to kick it with us. I said, girl, what? It did make sense. And I'm sitting here like, oh, so this is where I was about to say, okay, this show is about to be some bullshit, because you're doing the typical let's be mean girls type of situation, because we've seen this storyline before. You have the loner girl, the one, or the loner student, I should say, teen, who wants to be a part of the popular clique, and they all of a sudden want to introduce them to the clique or whatever, only to fuck them over, okay? And I saw that coming a mile away. It was giving me Carrie tease. That's what it was giving me. If you ever saw the movie Carrie, and I am not talking about the remake, I'm talking about the original. If you ever seen that, you get what I'm talking about. Ever since then, that's one of the first movies that I seen do some shit like that, and they've been just doing that with the teens ever since then, okay? And so she gets over there to her parents, and oh my god, they was going to therapy or whatever, and before the therapist, the way that the therapist, I'm trying to remember what I saw, okay? Before the therapist came into play, the issue that came up with Miss Scarlett, and this is how Miss Scarlett got some goddamn deep ass issues, okay? Miss Scarlett, you know, she was looking at some porn on her goddamn computer, and it's not no regular porn, and she got in trouble for this before, okay? It's because it's violent, and you know, I guess the parents have already had a talk with her about that. Okay, it's like torture porn, and you know, extreme BDSM porn and all this stuff. And so the dads was like, we kept a lock and kept a track on the internet and the websites that you go to, and we noticed that you've been looking at more of this stuff, and it's escalating to even more graphic, more violent. You know, we need to talk to a therapist, you need to get help and all this stuff. And because of the fact that she doesn't really have any friends outside of the one friend that she has, Sancti, I think, or Shanti, that's what her name is. And because she went on ahead and got invited to this sleepover with these girls or whatever, she's making leeway, at least she thinks in her head. She's being let into this exclusive club of cool girls, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, no, I'm gonna be able to do it. You know, I want to go to the slumber party or whatever. So if we need to see a therapist, I'll see the therapist, okay? But I still want to go to the slumber party. And see, here's my thing. Listen, Parents got to learn to put their foot down, okay? You literally still rewarding bad behavior, okay? You're rewarding bad behavior. Now, you seen that she did something that is very concerning, okay? Very, very concerning. And you want to take something away from her so that she can learn that you cannot be doing this and this is not right. But instead, because you see how, just because she don't have that many friends and she get invited to a sleepover, you say, okay, cool, you can still go. That's still rewarding her. Take that away from her. They should have stepped down there and took it away right then and there. But no, they said, okay, but you still gonna have to see a therapist. All right, so they bring the therapist in, and they're talking to her, and talking about the violent nature of the porn, and are you the masochist or are you the sodomist or something, like the sadist or the masochist, and she was embarrassing over the whole situation. I forget exactly what was going on in that therapy session that made her pissed off, but after that, something happened. Y'all can fill me in. I forget. Don't judge me because I didn't plan on reviewing it. So, all I know is, girl got pissed and they said, listen, bitch, you grounded, okay? I forget what it is exactly that she did, but they grounded her. And I said, this is what y'all should have did in the first place. So it was no more slumber party. But at the same time, Miss Scarlett is getting text messages from Maya, who is played by Paris Jackson, okay? This is the girl that she got a little crush on, who told her it's okay to look at her like that. She ain't necessarily out with her girls, okay, because she don't know how they feel and all this stuff. And just listening and looking at the text messages and the emojis and the escalation, I was like, wait a minute. You ain't even gonna try to get to know the girl first. All of a sudden, you just start talking to her and you just instantly talking about licking clicks and stuff. No, baby girl. I said, this Scarlett wanted to be like so bad. That's all that it was. Scarlett wanted to be like so bad. And, she's a virgin. She hasn't had sex with a girl before. I don't know if she had sex with a guy, but she hasn't had sex with a girl before. She got a little infatuation. This girl is showing her a little bit of attention, so she fell for it, okay? And so, she told her, listen, I can't come to the slumber party because I got grounded. And she was like, well, sneak out. And I said, of course, she's going to sneak out. Okay, she's going to sneak out, of course, What wound up happening is, I think she had put on the when they was in the therapy session, I don't know if it was in episode 1 or episode 2, something happened where first of all, Scarlett was having wet dreams. She was masturbating to old girl, okay? And in that dream of masturbation, when she was having sex with, or about to have sex with little Maya, she was about to choke that bitch out. And Maya looked like she was about to die. She was getting scared, and she was getting turned on bad. Scarlett was getting more turned on bad. Maya's laying there looking scared like, no, bitch, you about to kill me. And old girl came in real life, okay? She was pissed off with the daddy, and she wound up, making because they was like, girl, you don't do shit around here and all this stuff. They was just mad at that she don't really do nothing. And so she had went and put the suit back on, and she was just like, wait a minute, I threw this away. So she thought that the dads put it up in the closet. So she went on ahead and put the suit on to go into the room because she was pissed off at them because they just got into an argument. She went up into their bedroom with the suit and a knife or whatever, and was acting, quote unquote, acting as if she was gonna kill him, and they were real scared and everything. And she was like, psych. And when you put the suit on, he takes over. The original guy, the original rubber man takes over, okay? And so she was acting like, it was a big surprise. Haha, I was just trying to play with y'all. It was a prank. We prank each other all the times and all this stuff or whatever. And so in the midst of doing that, they got mad at her for having that suit on and for doing that prank or whatever. The father, Troy, mostly got pissed off, especially. And they get into this little shouting match back and forth to the point where I don't know how close they were, but they was close enough for Scarlett to accidentally slice the daddy arm, okay? So he had to go get stitches, and that was part of the reason why he was pissed off. And then had the nerve to tell her, just to let you know, I'm not going to be talking to you for a couple of weeks or so. I said, wait a minute, don't give me a time limit. Don't give me a time limit, okay? Just let me suffer for a minute and let me, all I got to do is be like, all right, cool. I ain't got to talk to you for a couple of weeks because you're going to still be mad. I can deal with that. At least I know it got a time limit. Make me feel be in suspense about it, okay? Make me worried. Am my parent going to talk to me again? Is you going to talk to me again? You know, do that. Don't give me a time limit or whatever. Damn. So they went to go get stitches, and that's when the therapist came back. Mind you, the therapist wound up getting killed by Scarlett. Okay, the rubber man, and they had found the suit. They found the suit at the top of the steps, and it was a bunch of blood on it too. And they was like, "Who blood is this?" And so at this point, they had threw the suit in the garbage can or whatever. And you know, once again, Scarlett had the suit on, and so they trying to figure out what is happening. Okay, and we already saw that the therapist got killed, but yet she's sitting there having a therapy session with them in the house, okay, about this whole thing. And when they had this therapy session, you know, we find out that I think when Scarlett was around 3 years old, the daddy Troy, he was putting some groceries in the car, and this woman came up there and basically attacked him, beat his ass, because she caught him off guard. And basically his back was turned, and stole the car with the baby in it, and the baby was gone for like 10 days, and until, you know, this lady showed up at the hospital with her. And so, you know, she didn't have any trauma to her or anything, not a scratch on her. And the lady was like, how do you feel about it? And she was like, girl, I can't remember how I felt. But even in school, she was talking about how she wasn't scared. And people are more so afraid of shame, revealing their shame instead of fear. You know what I'm saying? Real fear. Okay? And that's when I realized, you know, she really got some issues. She is devoid of human emotions, okay? I said, she don't care if a motherfucker hurt. And so, you know, that's when the dad's grounded her. See, it's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. I had to talk it out. Okay, so bear with me. But that's when the dads had to ground her, and she still snuck out to go with them people, with them kids, okay? Mind you, ever since she started talking to them or whatever, she ain't really talking to her best friend, her only real friend, you know? So she go over there to the house, and, you know, they sitting down on the couch, and they just kikiing and talking about this and talking about, you know, they even called her out about being a lesbian, and she's talking about what she like, and, you know, sometimes it's a little violent, or she's this and she's that. She's revealing herself. And I said, you don't know these people. All of this just to get some puss. All of this just to get some puss. Girl, you are putting out your secrets. Why? Hush, okay? Because it just didn't feel right, and we already knew what was going to happen, especially when Maya said, we need to put you in some pajamas. Come on, let me go get you some pajamas. So they go up into the room, and, you know, she convincing her to, I guess, to kiss or whatever, because Maya started kissing on her neck and stuff like that. They up in there talking, and she's still revealing more stuff about her. Girl, the whole time it is being live streamed, like on probably Facebook or Instagram or something like that. And it was her friend, Scarlett's friend, who was I just realized I was saying Miss Scarlett like on Gone in the Wind. Miss Scarlett. I was wondering why it sounded so familiar. Miss Scarlett. Okay. But anyway, yeah, it was her friend who basically was texting her like, girl, it's all on it. You need to stop what you're doing because they recording this shit. And so she was so embarrassed. And of course the girls come up there being bitches and shit. And my whole thing is, when y'all do this, don't y'all know that this is an invasion of privacy, or that you can have, you know, can't you get arrested for that because you don't have permission, especially if you're recording somebody in a sexual position or whatever without consent? You can get, you know, charged with that, and you putting it on the internet, and that's evidence that they didn't give consent to their being recorded and stuff like that. It's crazy. I said, these kids finna ruin their own lives just to be mean to this girl for no reason. The girl didn't do nothing to you, and you just being mean to her for what? Okay. Then after that, she left crying or whatever, and they was recording her and thinking, oh, being mean to her and shit. I said I should have known. No, she should have known, because I knew. She left and she was at the house crying and all this stuff or whatever. The dads, they clunked out off for edibles and Xanax pills or whatever. And at this point, what wound up happening? She called Maya on the phone, or either Maya called her, like, girl, you over there crying and all this stuff and woo woo. She was like, listen, bitch, you know what? I'm about to kill myself, okay? And I'm gonna leave a note saying that it was y'all that did it, because y'all recorded me and you pushed me to it. And she was talking about this other boy who did the same thing, and the people that, forced him was the cause of his suicide. They got jail time and all this stuff or whatever. So she's scaring them. She was like, if y'all don't do it, if y'all don't come over to the house, I'm going to put this out here and I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I'm going to make sure everybody knows that it was you. I'm going to leave a note and all that stuff. Baby, they came over there to the house because they were scared. They were scared. Girl, we don't need no trouble, okay? My bad, my bad, my bad. Bitch, they come over there and they looking for her. They go down there in that basement, bitch. And Miss Mama in the rubber man suit. Mama said, bitch, I'm finna go on a killing spree. That bitch killed all four of their asses and got Maya first, which I would have went after that hoe first too. Okay? So now, once you get killed in the murder house, you, the spirit and the ghost or whatever, can never leave. Okay? So they all living in there amongst all the other people that got killed in that house. Okay? And so that's what wound up happening with them. Mind you, they're looking for these girls. This goes into episode 2. They're looking for the girls, and the police is coming there to talk to the parents about it, and saying that I guess something tracked them to the house, or the daughter was the last person to talk to them. And then it was like, but the car was found at their house. Well, yeah, they could have drove the car over here because it's a 5-minute walk. It's a 5-minute walk, okay? And somebody could have drove the car back and then walked back to the house, okay? So it's very possible. So at this point, the dads are getting agitated. And they're like, you know what? We're going to get our lawyers the next time you try to come up in here, because now you're trying to twist things. You're trying to make it seem like we had something to do with it or whatever, and we really don't. But when episode 2 come on, we also get introduced to a new character, right? This is wound up being Scarlett's girlfriend, who is actually played by Cyndi Lauper, the model's daughter. Her name was, let me find it. Her name was Ruby on here, okay? And basically, I forget who it was that they killed up in that house, but Scarlett and her was killing folks, okay? She stabbed a nurse or whatever, and they keep on replaying this shit all over, and the spirits be killing each other and torturing each other up in the house. So that's what was going on. And you see Scarlett and Ruby taking a bath together, and I was like, oh, this is lesbians. Okay, kind of gay, but okay. And so, Ruby started talking about how when she was young, her parents died or whatever in a car crash or some type of accident or whatever. And so she was sent to live with her Uncle Tony, and everything was cool or whatever. For the first year that she was there, he gave her anything that she wanted. And next thing you know, all of a sudden he switched. He started abusing her, like putting fire out on her and stuff like that, because you saw these marks on her back, and was just being very, very fucking awful to her. And then she was like, on her 16th birthday, he did the worst thing. He saved the worst for last. He went and was driving her to another state, I believe Arizona or something like that, and dropped her off at this man and this woman house, and said, here's your parents. They never died. They just sold her to him. So I'm like, was he sexually abusing her too? Because if you sold somebody to somebody else, I feel like that's what goes on as well, okay? You either try to make them your little slave or whatever, or you're sexually abusing them, you're sex trafficking them or whatever, girl, it was just a lot. Okay, so remember that. But at the same time, you got the girls that was, that Scarlett had killed. They coming up there trying to, come for Scarlet, but of course you got Ruby who's there. They're scared of Ruby, okay, because Ruby be cutting people, burning people face off and snatching people faces off or whatever, and they don't like that, okay. So it's like Ruby, she the nigga of the relationship, you know what I'm saying? This my bitch, you ain't gonna touch her. You ain't gonna do nothing, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, all right, forever protected, okay. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Mind you, Ruby is a spirit too. Ruby wound up dying in that house because when she found out about her parents, she ran away and she went to LA. She wanted to do the suicide. She the one that wanted to do the suicide note or whatever. And she left the suicide note behind and she was like, I'm gonna just kill myself. And when she killed herself, the realtor, whoever was gonna sell the house, she found her body and buried her body outside in the backyard and didn't tell nobody. Okay, I said that's fucked up, and threw the note away and all that shit. And so that's how her spirit came to be in the house, or I should say her ghost or whatever. And so, you know, as time goes on, we see that Troy and Michael, the fathers, are having issues. And we have Michael, who did say that he saw like something in the bathroom, and he saw the pig man. Okay, he saw the pig man. And, you know, you got the dad, Troy, that really wasn't trying to hear it. And his whole thing is Michael wants to get out the house because he feels like something is not right. In the first, you know, episode, I believe, when the therapist came in there, she said she felt some type of energy or something that really was dark. And, you know, Michael is like, we need to get up out of here. Okay, we're putting all our money up in this place. We barely got money to get basic necessities at this point. It's making us broke, so we need to leave. Troy don't want that, all right? So Troy is looking for contractors and stuff to come in, and they're still looking for these girls. And at one point, we did see Scarlet up in the attic or whatever. I believe it was the attic, and she had painted over the walls and made the brick mortar and all this stuff, a brick wall and all this, and, you know, trying to impress the dads, okay, make up for what she did. So we thought, and we talking about make up for what she did to daddy Troy, okay. But at this point, they finally do. I'm fast forwarding through some shit, you know. Scarlet and Ruby want her to stay up in the house, okay? Ruby want her to stay in the house, meaning she want her to die and forever be tied to the house, okay? So this is something that she got to think about, you know. It's a contractor that comes, actually, and he was looking at stuff or whatever, and of course he was pissed off. Not necessarily pissed off, but he was like, who did this work? Looking at the wall that Scarlet did, okay? It was like she don't know what it is to level stuff and know that stuff is lopsided or whatever. And so at this point, we thinking that the contractor is on the up and up, all right? But Troy is flirting with him, okay? And then Michael sees this, so Michael has an issue with it. And so at this point, Michael and Troy gets into it because he like, we don't have an open relationship or anything like that. So you need to keep your dick in your pants. Don't be doing this. You know, flirting is damn near cheating, and you can't be playing around with our relationship. Get this shit done and let's get the fuck up out of here, okay? So they're clearly having trouble, and you can see that the house is affecting Michael more than it is Troy. Troy don't believe nothing that Michael is saying. Now, right after that fucking argument, the next damn scene we see, Troy just sucked off the goddamn contractor after he just told his husband, ain't nothing going on. I ain't fuck with nobody but you, okay? Just suck this man off. I said, are you serious? Are you serious? Bitch, this don't make no sense. He was like, we got to keep this our little secret or whatever because I already told him that I ain't done nothing with you. And he was like, I mean, cool or whatever. We can do this, and it could be our secret. Just hire me. Just let me do this, and woo, woo, woo. Let him stay. But at one point, they kind of smelled something. And they was trying to figure out because, you know, you got the contractor brought in one of his guys to help. And he smelled something in that same room, okay? So he goes over there and he looks at the brick wall, and it's like a hole in there. And so at this point, he's sniffing, and so he gets like a hammer or something, like a sledgehammer, and start banging into the wall, and opens up the wall. And what do we see? We see the dead bodies of them 4 girls that they looking for, okay? Them teenage girls that they've been looking for. And at this point, the contractor's aide, he looking like, oh my God, the contractor kills him out of nowhere. And he was like, listen, y'all did this shit, so we in this stuff together. We ain't gotta tell nobody, you know. And truth be told, I'm in debt. I took you know, I was taking money from some of my other clients and all this other shit. That's how come you got me dirt cheap as you do. And we can be in this thing together, okay? And this arrangement that we got, you know, I work for y'all, we get this together, and this house together, and I get some money from it as well, you know, and it be all to the good. We can keep our little secret, okay? We in this together, and I want to be a part of your marriage. He was like, you know, I want part of the dick and ass too. I said, wait a minute, what? He said, I don't want no, you know, sleeping in the same room and all that stuff and that romantic shit. I just want in on the dick and ass. I said, wait a minute. And so at this point, Michael realized what's going on and realized that Troy did something with him. So he was like, you know what? Fuck that nigga, okay? So at this point, we see that, oh, what wound up happening? One of the spirits came through, I think it was Ruby or somebody came through and killed the contractor. Killed the contractor in front of them. So they running out trying to get out the house or whatever, and they realize that they going in a continuous loop and they keep ending up, as soon as they go out the door, they still back in the same spot. They go through the kitchen and it seems like they running, but they come back to the same spot. It's like they're not getting anywhere. Okay. And so at this point, Troy don't understand what is happening, but Michael does. All right. Troy doesn't realize that these motherfuckers are actually dead. You can't go from this house. That's why. Because what wound up happening is when Scarlett told Ruby basically that she don't know if she really want to be dead or what she want to do just to stay with her, she went up there because she was pissed off and she killed the daddies. She killed the daddies. I said, ain't this about a bitch? This bitch just going around killing everybody because these some emotional motherfuckers. You can't be killing off emotions like this. Make it make sense, okay? And so at this point, you know, they realize that they dead. They realize that the therapist is dead. They having a therapy session about it, you know, and trying to figure that stuff out. But I guess on Halloween, that's like the one day out of the year that the ghosts and the spirits or whatever are actually allowed outside of the house. Okay, so you got the girls going out. You got Ruby and you know, Scarlett going out. Scarlett still got her rubber woman suit on, and you know, she do come in contact with her friend. Okay, the one friend that she has, Shanti. I hope I'm saying her name right, Shanti or Shanti. But anyway, she gets pissed off at her, rightfully so, because she was like, mind you, she's there with Ruby, and Ruby was about to get, you know, in her feelings, trying to figure out who this bitch is, and she was like, this my friend, that's it, it's nothing more than that, you know, calm the fuck down. And so at this point, she pissed off at her. She was like, you neglected me for this girl. Is that why, you know, you was my only friend and you just basically dropped me? And did you have something to do with them girls? I know you did, because you devoid of any type of emotions, any type of feelings. You damn near a psychopath, okay? Mama called her out and poured her whole cards. And I said, bitch, everything she was saying about her was true, okay? And so at this point, them girls saw her, and them girls was about to come for Shanti. But then Ruby came over there and stopped them and said, no, the fuck you not, okay? And so at this point, what wound up happening is Ruby was basically like, you know, you my girlfriend. So since you her friend, you my friend, ain't nobody gonna touch you. You gonna be cool. But then all of a sudden the tide turns and the girls start coming after Scarlett like, fuck this bitch Ruby. I'm still gonna go after her because it's 4 against 2 at this moment, bitch. Fuck you. I'm still gonna go after her. One of the 4 girls ran into their brother, okay? Later, when they went back to the house, she told the brother to tell the mom that, you know, yeah, we're here in the house, we got killed till whatever, some shit, but don't come into the house, okay? Because if you come into that house, most likely you're not gonna leave alive, okay? Not right away. So at that point, you know, she was running for her. Ruby kept the girls off of her. You know, she went back to the house, and while she was at the house, in front of the house, you know, the girls was like, we still got a few more hours, or at least a couple of more hours before, you know, we have to go back in, and we can still try to kill your ass. She was like, listen, okay, let me just go in the house and get my shit. and talk to my daddies and stuff like that. Because truth be told, this all y'all fault, okay? For whatever she told them, they started rationalizing in their minds, especially Maya, and was like, yeah, we was a dick for what we did to you. So they did let her go into the house. And truth be told, I'm thinking that they gonna follow her and try to kill her in the house to keep her there. You know what I'm saying? So they continue to torture her, whatever. Because she didn't know if they was gonna kill her while she was asleep or whatever. So at this point, she do go up in there. She talking to her father's about the fact that she's gonna leave, and she told Ruby that she's gonna leave. She don't want to stay in this house. She want to actually explore the world and do what she got to do. And so, you know, Ruby understood it, and Ruby let her go. Truth be told, once again, I gotta stop saying that. I literally thought Ruby was gonna kill her. I thought Ruby was gonna get pissed off that she decided to leave and was gonna kill her, but she didn't. And so I was surprised by that. The girls didn't kill her either. They let her go. And then it was like 10 months later, they all still up in the house, and they like one big happy family, fixing breakfast and just being cool with each other. You know, once a year Ruby gets to see Scarlett, because she comes there to the house on Halloween or whatever. That's when Scarlett can go outside and shit like that. So they still girlfriends, okay? She calls and she checks up on everybody, which is fucking weird. But also what she did for Ruby is she found the uncle that wound up not being her uncle. It was just a stranger. I meant to say that too. And she killed that motherfucker. I said, okay, well, cool. But, you know, so far it's okay. It's okay. I want to see what the next story is going to be about. I don't know how many episodes this is going to be, but yeah, it was cool. It was cool. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. And remember, please, that even if I didn't get all the details correct, it's because it's not fresh in my mind, and I really didn't feel like going and watching again. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably watch it later, but yeah, that's what I remember. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. Let's discuss in the comments. I can't wait for the actual show to come back. But yeah. Anyway, Love and Marriage Huntsville tonight. Y'all gonna get that review as well. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.